The night had been long for Mara Lewis, but it was finally supposed to be over. The coolers hummed in the quiet convenience store, and the faint smell of coffee hung in the air. Mara wiped down the counter, tired but relieved, ready to switch off the lights, lock the door, and go home. She thought the night was done. Just as her fingers reached for the key to close the register, the bell above the door chimed, and three men walked in. Before Mara could say a word, a different kind of chill crept over her. It didn't come from the air conditioning. It came from their eyes. The tall one in front smirked, his boots thudding against the tiles. "We're not here to buy," he said, his grin curling into something cold. His two friends trailed behind him, snickering quietly, their shadows stretching across the floor. Mara's heart sped up. She glanced at the clock. 10 minutes past closing. She was alone in the store. At least that's what she thought. If you believe courage, kindness, and standing up for what's right still matter in this world, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Wayne Stories. It helps stories like this find more hearts that need them. Mara tried to sound calm as she told them the store was closed, but her voice shook. The men didn't turn around. They stepped closer. The one in the leather jacket, whose name tag read Kyle, laughed. "Closed," he mocked. "We're just getting started." One of his friends leaned on the counter, pretending to study the candy bars, while the third, dressed in a red flannel shirt, drifted toward the side aisle, casually blocking the path to the back room. The air seemed to grow heavy. Mara thought of her mother waiting at home, and the words she repeated often. "You never know who walks into your life. Some come to hurt you, some come to save you." Her hands trembled as they gripped the counter. Kyle leaned in close, his breath thick with alcohol. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" he taunted. "You nervous?" She kept her eyes lowered and didn't answer. In an instant, his hand shot out. He grabbed the front of her red shirt and yanked her toward him. The fabric tore at the collar with a sharp rip. Mara gasped, stumbling, trying to pull away, but his grip tightened. The other two burst into laughter, loud and cruel. "Looks like we found our entertainment tonight," one of them sneered. Tears burned at the corners of her eyes. She refused to let them fall. Her mind scrambled for an idea, any way out, but fear pinned her in place. Then she heard it, a dull thud from the back of the store, a heavy step, then another. The three men turned toward the sound, frowns replacing their grins. Mara followed their gaze as three dark shapes appeared between the aisles. They walked forward with steady steps, boots echoing on the floor. The group of men who had been laughing only moments before went silent. The one in front stepped into the light. He was tall and broad, in his late 40s, with a salt and pepper beard and tattoos down both arms. A black leather vest rested over his shoulders, marked with an unmistakable emblem: Hell's Angels. On his chest, a patch read R.L. Chills. Two more bikers moved in behind him. One was bald with a long, dark beard. The other was younger, with shoulder-length hair and sunglasses propped on his head. Their faces were calm, but their eyes said they knew trouble when they saw it. Mara stayed frozen behind the counter, her heart pounding, as the bikers stopped a few paces away. Silence stretched between the two groups. The leader's gaze dropped to Kyle's hand, still clutching the torn fabric of Mara's shirt. When he spoke, his voice was quiet but clear. "You might want to let go of that." Kyle forced a laugh. "What's it to you, old man?" he snapped, trying to keep his tough act. The biker didn't answer right away. He took one deliberate step forward. Kyle hesitated. Slowly, he released Mara's shirt and took a step back. The smirk drained from his face. His two friends stopped laughing. "You boys have had your fun," the biker said, voice calm but sharp. "Now you're going to walk out of here, nice and easy. But men like Kyle don't like being told what to do." He spat on the floor. "You think you can scare us?" he barked, though a tremor slipped into his voice. The younger biker behind the leader cracked his knuckles. The bald one tilted his head, a faint, knowing smile on his face. The leader's eyes never left Kyle's. "No," he replied. "I don't think. I know." What followed wasn't a long fight. It was quick and over almost as soon as it all began. Kyle lunged, shoving at the biker's chest. His arm was caught mid-motion, a twist, a step, a sharp grunt. Kyle hit the floor, clutching his shoulder and groaning. The second man charged, but the bald biker cut him off, slamming him against the counter hard enough to rattle the shelves. A bag of chips tumbled to the floor. The third thug froze. His hands went up, and he backed toward the door until his shoulder bumped the glass. The bell above it chimed as he shoved it open and bolted into the night. The other two scrambled after him, stumbling and cursing. The bell rang again. Then the store fell quiet. Mara stood there, shaking, fingers pressed to the torn edge of her shirt, eyes wide with shock. The leader turned to her. The hardness in his face eased. "You okay, miss?" he asked. She nodded weakly, her voice thin as she whispered, "Thank you. Thank you so much." He gave a small nod. "Leave the lights on for a few more minutes," he said. "You're not as alone as you think." Without another word, he and the other bikers walked to the door. Their reflections slid across the glass as they stepped outside. Mara watched them go, her breathing slowly calming, tears slipping down her cheeks. Not from fear this time, but from relief. Through the window, she saw the motorcycles rumble to life and roll away. For the first time in a long while, she felt safe. She realized that heroes don't always wear badges or capes. Sometimes they ride in on two wheels, dressed in leather, carrying a kind of quiet kindness that doesn't need explaining. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that goodness can appear in the most unexpected places, please like, share, and subscribe to Wayne Stories. And before we end, tell me in the comments, what would you have done if you were in Mara's place that night? Sometimes the bravest thing we can do is believe that kindness still walks among us, even when it comes wrapped in tattoos, leather, and a heart that refuses to look away when someone needs help.